Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Summer League Americas Finals. My name is Ian, and with me, as always, is my co-host Tim. Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. Just trying to get excited for some Skytear.
Yeah, I
How
know.
about you?
I'm the same, guys. We're excited about this game. As you can see, the players are already jumping into it. So as they're going, I just wanted to let you guys know we're trying something a little different today. We are going to try being very zoomed into the board. We're going to throw card text up on the screen as cards are played. Tim's going to call things out, and we're going to let this beautiful overlay really kind of tell the story today. So please give us feedback on what you think. And we're excited to get this game underway. So, Tim, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the list today that we've got going on.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we might have lost Tim. So Tim's been having some internet troubles today, so he might be coming in and out, but we'll get it figured out. But up at the top of your screen is Eric, and he's playing his typical list. He's got Brilvar, Astrida, Frail, and Ekrit, and Bearcat at the bottom of your screen is going with Nalaklan, Frael, Kotlik, and Takali. And Eric won the coin toss today, and he chose his outsider, which is the Lord of the Ancestors. And then Bearcat decided that he wanted to be the second player. And the draft was very interesting, and we'll talk about that after the game with the players because I know that both of them have some things that they want to talk about. And today's objectives, we have right breach, invasion, and we also have the hunting for power. This is the one where they're going to try and defeat the outsider. So we've got a lot in store. It's going to be an exciting game. So the first action we had, Eric went ahead and went with Brilvar, and he shapeshifted Astrida and went in and led from hand. And now we have Bearcat going with Kotlik, who's going to go and put out a pillar. Thinking about putting out a pillar. Moving one more space. Then probably going to put out a pillar. And thinking about that third final action, he's going to be leading. And he's going to be leading from hand. And so for those of you guys that are new, over here on our overlays, you can see players as they have been activated, and we've even added lead cards, and you can see from the orientation whether they lead from hand or lead from deck. And once they're discolored, you know they've been exhausted and have already been good to go. So now we're over to Eric. Back to him. We're going to look and see what he's got going on. Tim, we got you back? Yeah, we got you back.
I'm here. I apologize, everybody. My internet is freaking out all of a sudden for some reason.
No worries.
So we shall do our best. All right, looks like he's activating Ekrit, moving into the dome. Probably going to clear out some minions on the right side there before
Takali
can protect them.
Yep. So this is the classic Ekrit move here, the minion sweep.
I like that name, the minion sweep.
Yep.
Sweep the legs.
Sweep the leg. Flipping a +1.
And then it'll be back over to Bearcat.
All right, so maybe it's time to see Takali to try to maybe save some minions over on the left side. Thinking about it. So Tim, I might have lost you again. I can't seem to hear you if you are talking. But yep, Bearcat.
Test.
There we go. I got you now.
I was saying it's incredibly hard for Tilakali to get over there because she has to move and skirmish.
Yep.
It's not what you want to have to happen.
Yeah, because she really wants that third action to be able to probably lead typically, but having to take 2 move actions. But I do think it is important that he starts protecting some of those minions because Eric's list can really overwhelm you with minion control pretty quickly.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So what do you think
I
about
would not be surprised at all.
what do you think about Eric already
Good.
putting 2 people in the dome? I think Eric is really, really concerned about hunting for power. Before, when the players were doing the flips, when that flipped, Bearcat got very excited and Eric got very sad just listening to them chat. So I know he's very concerned about hunting for power in this game.
Yeah, I think it's one of the easiest ways for him to lose a match as a almost pure control player. Being able to have a target.
All right, so we are going with Astrida. Remember, she's already been shapeshifted from Brilvar, so she's jumping across lanes. And this is why it was important for Takali to go ahead and soak up, get that over there. So this allows, it's not going to allow Eric to defeat a minion and spawn a minion. So she's going to lead. Tim, I think I probably lost you again.
Yeah, I think you did. I got disconnected from TTS.
No problem. And Astrida, she's leading from hand. And her final action is to worship herself. So one of the things that I know Eric is a big fan of when playing against these green lists is he's all about taking out pillars. He does not want them on the board. So don't be surprised if you see his last action with Frail going and either securing the dome or possibly taking out a pillar if he can. All right, so action is going to be moved back over to Bearcat. Looks like we're probably going to activate Nalaklan here. All right, yep. Moving into the dome. We're going to see an attack from Nalaklan. Flipping a +1, so that's going to be 4 damage. I believe we were attacking Brilvar. Yep. And then we're going to see a lead from Nalaklan. This is going to be a lead from hand. So now Eric's got a choice. He can go in and take complete control of the dome if he decides to move Frail in. Or he can really try and secure a lane. He's got some options. All right, so he is going to move to his left side. He's going to lead. He's going to lead from his deck. And we're going to see a worship. I'm kind of surprised he didn't want to take out that pillar. But he did. She worshipped Brilvar with that action. So I don't know if he did a flip there to try and heal. It didn't look like he did. All right, so now we're over to Bearcat, who is got his Frail. I would probably see her going into the dome. Or, you know, he may choose not to just so the outsider gets on the board. If his goal is to defeat the outsider, he does need to see it on the board. If he goes into the dome, it's just going to tie in that outsider will not spawn. So he's got some thinking to do here. Does he want it to come into the board to play, or give it to Eric, who is going to be able to do some pretty nasty things with the Lord of Ancestors, but at least it'll be in play for him to start attacking. Tim, welcome back. I see we've got you back in the game.
Hey. Yep. Getting there. This is incredibly frustrating. All right.
All right, so as you're back, we're at the last activation for Bearcat. He's going to be trying to figure out what he wants to do with Freyel. And what I was talking about is, does he want to go into the dome and prevent the outsider from spawning? Or does he want it to come out, even though Eric's going to win?
I think he 100% wants it to come out.
Yeah.
I'm sort of surprised that Eric went in the dome first, actually. Because I think that by him preventing the outsider from spawning is going to give him the best chance at winning.
I agree. And I've actually wrote that down as a note to talk about when we talk to the players, because I think that was a very interesting choice. But I'm thinking, I don't know if Bearcat's really decided on what he wants to do here. He's looking at a move to the left. All right, so we're going to lead from his Freyel. And that is going to be a lead from deck. And his last action. He's got this lane possibly won. We don't know what that lead is. Eric did lead from hand on that side with the Strida. So he's already in the tank.
Yeah, I think that can end up being pretty huge.
So this is where, to me, we're going to see a skirmish. So maybe, okay, he wanted to be in that spot. So that was important to him.
Interesting.
Yep.
I really think that Eric...
Yep, I lost you again there, Tim, but that's all right. So Astrida did lead with a 3. And Freyel also got a 3. So she's going to have won, Bearcat's going to have won that side by 1. Take out a minion, move it 1 hex. So that is the magic number. You just need to win by 1. So he's going to have a 4 minion to 2 advantage on lane 1. So note that that is not the breach side for Bearcat. But it's got to always feel good when you're playing against a control player to win a lane. So as we go to lane 2, Freyel led with a 3, Kotlik led with a 3. So Eric's going to have 1 by 2 on lane 2. Putting that control token right under Kotlik. So he's going to have a 4 minions to 2 advantage as well. Again, both of these guys pushing the lanes opposite of the right breach. And then, like we talked about, Eric's going to have won the dome, but I think this is exactly what Bearcat possibly wants, just to get that outsider on the board so he can set up a big play with the hunting for power. For those of you that watched his semifinal game, I do believe he won that game by killing the outsider with Nalaklan. All right, so going over to dome control. Eric does win the dome, and it looks like he is possibly going to put that over on the left side. Quite possibly to move that control token back one, just to prevent any possible tower damage from Bearcat going into round 2. That's a very powerful ability from the Lord of Ancestors. Nope, he's deciding to put it over on the right side.
Can you hear me, Ian?
I can, yeah. Welcome back.
Okay. Hey, I think that it's potentially important for him to push this token against the tower right now, so he doesn't have to actually win the lane. He just has to tie it so that he can get an invasion this turn.
Ah, good point. Yep.
And then he can just focus hard on that right lane, or left lane, I should say.
Yeah. Yep. I didn't see that line of play, but that's actually really good. It's a really smart play. So I think invasion definitely might be the best chance for Eric going into round 2.
Yeah,
And
I
also,
think that he has to.
like, if you look where he's putting him in the cover hex, just already making it difficult for Bearcat to get over there and try to do anything with hunting for power. So it looks like he was making an attack to kill a minion. He is considering a spawn, maybe? Or
Thinking about it.
maybe it's a move. Move a minion. All right, so they're all done. So it looks like he spawned a minion and then moved it over to the left side. So it's interesting then that he did not move the control token like you had said. So I wonder if he even saw that line of play. But maybe he's also thinking, I've already got a 4-1 lead over here. I don't need to work too hard to just get that control point to move one more hex.
Yeah, I think that's fair too. He's got a lot longer to go on that left lane, and adding a minion over there helps.
All right, so Eric is going to go first, and before Bearcat has a chance to put a pillar and save a minion, looks like he's going with the Strida and going to go ahead and attack a minion.
That seems very logical to me.
Yep. Going to lose 2 hit points to spawn a minion.
It was worth it.
Indeed. So, cannot put that minion there. There we go. And got 2 more actions left. She was already shapeshifted from the previous round.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a lead and another shapeshift here.
Yep. So there's the lead. It is a lead from tech. But as we've talked about in previous streams watching Eric, his deck is loaded with 3 mana cards, so he always feels confident about leading from deck. I believe he's running close to 19 3-mana cards in this set. And then we are going to see a last action worship. All right, action moves over to Bearcat. Going with Nalochlin.
Doing a move, probably a skirmish. Oh, nope. Taking it back. Yeah, getting Kotlik in there first makes the most sense to me, so you can get line of sight to that outsider.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even skirmishing to get the or worshipping to get the extra skirmish. But nope, just moving down below. Probably going to attack.
Yeah, we got to remember, anytime you attack that outsider with hunting for power in the game, it does allow you to, the first thing you do is get to draw a card. So it looks like he is playing quick shot. All right. Quick shot being played by Kotlik, being able to defeat a target minion. He is doing his best to clear up that side.
I'm interested in why he's playing it right now.
And he attacked the outsider, doing 3 points of damage. And for those of you on the stream, up in the top left corner, you can see the hit points remaining for the outsider. So he's currently at 16 HP.
I'm interested in why he played the quick shot whenever he played it.
I agree. I always find I like myself to make that at the end of the last activation, just to make sure my opponent may think that they have a particular count on a side, and then kind of the last thing you do is mess up their count. I think is a really great play. But maybe he.
Because I don't really know. I don't know why he needed that spot clear specifically. I mean, there's lots of room, it feels like.
Yeah, if his thought is to come in with Lachlan, Lachlan is a range character who can see the outsider. So yeah, it's a good question. But it looks like he is leading from hand over there with Kotlik on lane 2.
If anything, killing that minion probably leaves him open to being pushed away from line of sight.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like Eric is going to go and play a Sky Tear Drain. I know this is one of Eric's favorite new cards. Activating Brilvar, targeting the Lachlan. So if this resolves, Bearcat is going to be forced to get rid of 2 cards. Tim, can you tell us what card he's discarding?
I am not in TTS right now.
Oh, okay. Well, did look like that went through. So 2 cards were discarded from Bearcat's hand. So now we're going to see Brilvar come in with a skirmish. Do a little bit of damage to Lachlan. Flipping a +1. So Lachlan's going to take 1. We're going to see a lead from deck with Brilvar, and we all know that that last action is going to be to worship himself. So Lachlan is going to be forced to attack Brilvar. One thing I do know from looking at Bearcat's deck, the reason he brings Freyel to this match because she is loaded with the charms. And so if that is in his hand, there's a good chance that he's going to be able to rip that right off of Brilvar and hopefully be able to move Lachlan to do something other than attack Brilvar. All right, so action has moved over to Bearcat. Thinking about a Takali activation. Activating Takali. He's going to attack a minion. Flipping a +1. 3 damage to that minion. All right, thinking about action 2. All right, we're going to see Takali move somewhere. Interesting, moving into the dome right next to Brilvar.
Crazy hair, don't care.
Exactly. Takali
Playing a
is playing
presence.
a presence. So does this lead you to believe that he's got a charm in hand to just, I mean, with Brilvar being shape shifted going into round 3, you know, I just I just don't ever want to be around that guy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's only got 2 cards in hand, though.
All right, and then he is leading. Leads from deck. All right, action moving back over to Eric, who has Ekrit and Frail still to activate. Tim, in 2020, what else could go wrong besides a global pandemic and now internet problems? All right, so Eric's in the tank.
It's going to be back at 3:30 p.m.
What's at 3:30 p.m.? If you were saying anything, I couldn't hear anything you said.
That's when my internet is estimated to be back
Oh.
up. I'm tethering to my phone now.
Are you wonderful Cox Communications Internet?
I am.
Yeah. All right, so Eric definitely in the tank on what is going to happen. He's got 2 people still to activate. So Tim, we're halfway through round 2. What's your thoughts? Where are we sitting? If the game ended here, or who's got the advantage going into the rest of this match?
So I think this game in particular is going to be incredibly hard to tell who has the advantage. At any moment, the outsider could just die. Looks like Eric's playing a presence.
Yep, so Ekrit presence to counteract the Takali presence. So do you think Eric really needs to win this dome again to be able to possibly hide the outsider? Looks like Ekrit is going to lead from hand, and then a final action, or a second action to worship, and then attack, doing another minion sweep. All right, so she kills the final minion for Bearcat over on lane 2. And that is, she is finished, so action moves back over to Bearcat, who has Nalaklan still to go and Freyel.
Both terrifying heroes.
Yeah. And Bearcat's Freyel is currently, she is not shapeshifted, so she does not have any sort of piercing attacks or anything at the moment. But that can always change in a heartbeat. So I do believe his deck is packed with the sacrifices and the nourishes to be able to do some extra bit of damage on an outsider if need be. But currently, his Frail is on the opposite side of the board.
Yeah, it needs a recall.
Does need a recall. When was the last time you saw that in a deck?
I've never seen it in a deck.
Me neither. Challenge to Ricardo and Giacomo. Build a deck with recall and make it good.
Hashtag make recall good again.
It worked with the chemo hashtag. Let's make it work here. All right, so Ricardo is probably trying to do some math over on lane 1. Or Bearcat's doing some math on lane 1. You know, he's really got to be thinking, I cannot lose lane 1. You know, if he loses by 4, that puts that right up next to the towers. All right, so he is leading from deck with Frael.
Leading from deck is scary with all of the one costs he has.
It is. Yep. Looks like we're probably going to see an attack on a minion. Yep, looks like that's what happened.
Flipped 0.
Yep. So 2 damage to the minion. And then worship. So she is prepared for some piercing damage. All right, so at least minions are back to even on lane 1. And they both have leads from deck, both Estrida and Frael. So lane 1 could very well be a push, where Eric could get a little bit of an advantage if there's some bad flips. All right, so action moves to Eric, who only has Frael left to activate.
Also important to note that Eric still has the flex, so he has access to some 3 mana cards if he really wants them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Eric.
Sinkhole or a chasm could push an Lachlan back into a dome to prevent some attacks on the outsider, which could be huge for him.
Yeah, he could force Lachlan to just even possibly stay in the dome, not let him move out. Yeah, he's going to have some options opened up. I know Eric very much is likes to go second player, but you know, if he's got a handful of 3 mana cards, he's got to be licking his chops a little bit here to know that he has so many options open to him here on round 2.
As long as he remembers that he has.
That is a true statement. Many times Eric has completely forgot about that, having the flux. So it looks like with Frael, the first action is going to be a lead from deck. She is going to skirmish for action 2. Taking a little pop shot at Lachlan. And then moving back to the control point 2. And then for that third action, we're going to see an attack on the pillar.
Eric loves attacking those pillars.
Yeah, he does. You know, they're so powerful for the green faction, and they're so dependent on really making that faction work. So if you are willing to waste an action on taking one out, it's the momentum swing can be big, because then it forces the Tallet player to have to essentially waste more actions putting them back out on the board. All right. right, so action moves over to Bearcat, who Nalaklan must attack Brilvar, hitting him for 3, flips a +0. 3 piercing damage.
Brovar just doing Brovar things.
Oh, man. I think we talked about this the last time that we streamed Tim, but is there a more annoying character to deal with than Brilvar's taunt?
I don't think so. It's obnoxious.
Yep, it is the pinnacle of tanks. It's saying, you are going to hit me. All right, so Bearcat is thinking about that second action. So we're going to see a skirmish. Flipping a 3. That's what you want to see. Brilvar is going to go down to 7 HP. And looks like just going to move the 1 space.
Interesting. Oh, double presence in the dome.
Oh, that's what you want to see. So if he stays in the dome, he's going to be contributing 4 points just with his 2 heroes alone. And this does put him down to 1 card left. So Tim, can you tell us what we saw there on that? Did he put any cards back on top of his deck to possibly get a good lead here?
I think that he put both back on the deck.
Both back on the deck. All
or
right.
No, he's still looking on my screen at least.
Okay. So thinking about what we want to do with that predict action that he gets to take with the presence. You know, and he could just be looking at, hey, I'm about to draw 2 cards. Do I want these in my hand going into round 3? He does already have a lead with the Kali. It was from deck.
Looks like he's discarding an Impervious and then putting 1 card back.
Okay. So he does have a 3rd action with Nalaklan. If he's happy with that Takali lead, we may just see a worship just to get another pillar out on the board. When I'm playing as Talent Heroes, I want as many pillars on the board just to try to set up maybe a big Kotlik skirmish play. So yeah, that's what we're seeing. We are seeing a worship from Nalaklan.
It's also going to turn on to Lakali's ability to protect the minions.
Correct.
Which is importante.
All right, so that was the 3rd action. Maybe considering any last bit of plays before we go to control. If Eric does have a chasm or something, he could force Nalaklan out of the dome, which
he doesn't have enough mana in the middle, I don't think.
That's correct. Brilvar and Ekra both have spent their mana with the presences.
Christmas came early with all these presents in the dome.
Yes, it did. So it looks like he's maybe considering that skirmish to maybe move 1 more One more hex, possibly. Looks like he's happy right there where he's at. All right, so they're thinking about something.
There goes Nalaklan exhausting.
All right, so now end of round is on the stack, and Eric looks like he is playing a time warp. And Strida says, I want to come into the dome and play as well. So he is willing to concede lane 1 to make sure he wins the dome. Frail led with a 3,
I mean,
but
he's
she's
only losing lane 1 by 1, right?
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
was that a lead? Okay, yeah.
So he's losing lane 1 by his Bearcats did not
By 3.
Did Bearcat? I don't think had a lead with Frail on lane 1 though. I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm sure they have it figured out. So maybe she did have a lead because there's some tower damage being done. 1 point of tower damage. So had to have won by 4 to wipe out 3 minions and a tower damage.
Yeah.
But again, maybe this isn't a win condition for Bearcat on the left side. But it is not putting Eric any closer to an invasion victory. So Eric's Frail leads with a 3 on lane 2. Kotlik also leads with a 3. So Eric's going to be at 7 to 4. So it's going to take out 3 towers. He's going to get a draw card when they do some tower damage.
Eric loves to draw him some cards.
He does. So he's going to have a big lead on lane 2 to Bearcat's big lead on lane 1. So as they're placing minions, the current count in the middle is with presence for Bearcat, he is at a 4 currently with a lead, and Eric's at also with the 4 with a lead. And they went a little quick there. I couldn't see what the leads were.
Bearcat led with no, there's a 3 over there. Eric led from hand.
So was it possibly a push then in the middle if they both had a 3? Because Takali did lead from deck after a presence, so I would bet that it was a 3. Said that it would have probably been a tie.
Definitely possibility.
Yeah. So I don't see anything happening, and they are already moving the round token to 3. So Eric's going. He's not wasting any time activating a Strida. Oh, there it is. The Song of the Siren. Targeting the Lachlan.
That's gotta feel good.
If it goes off. And it does. So the Lachlan is exhausted. One of the best ultimates in the game. Did you see how fast Eric took that turn? He was giddy to have that in hand. Like, I finally get to go first. I'm going to take out your best hero. All right, skirmishing, flipping a 3.
Pushing for 3.
Lachlan going down to 9. I know Eric doesn't often kill heroes with this list, but we were playing a practice game last night, and he killed my Akla with this list. But Akla's, that's what he's good for. He's there to die.
Probably one of the higher percentage of dead heroes
Yep.
in the game.
So Strider moves out of the dome, attacks a minion, loses 2 HP, spawns a minion.
What a powerful turn, by the way.
We'll have to let Eric know that this only would happen. This only got to happen because he got to go first. We're going to change his mind about being the first player.
I don't know that we'll do that, but...
And then has her final action, Estrada decided to lead from deck. Oh man, that's gotta hurt if you're Bearcat to have Nalachlin just out for the round. All right, so he is activating Frail, moving into the dome. She is currently shapeshifted, so she has piercing.
Gonna try to kill this Brilvar, maybe?
It looks like it. So an attack against Brilvar.
Oh, an ice wall.
Ice wall being played. So Eckert's playing the ice wall, saying, you know what, I don't think I want Brilvar to be targeted this round.
Which is completely fair.
Yeah, because he's only has 7 HP left, which Frail could very easily take out, which she comes back and plays a Nourish. So this is on the stack. This is going to go off before the ice wall for 3 damage to Brilvar if it goes through.
Making her earn it at least.
Yep. Jarek's probably thinking, 3 damage. I could maybe take 3 damage. But is there another one in hand?
So if Eric passes priority, he can't play anymore, right?
I believe he could after a card is resolved.
Oh, after it resolves.
Yeah.
Resolves. Yep, you're right. This is not the first card in the stack.
Yep.
Rules, how do they work?
If only there was a rules document out there.
If only. Wait a second. There is.
Oh. Because if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's up on the Skytear website. You can see it. So it does look like that Nourish is going to go off. So Brilvar is going to take 3 damage.
Ooh.
And as it
and
resolves, a sacrifice gets played. So this would kill Brilvar if this resolves. So this is where Eric's now got to be thinking, do I have any more tricks up my sleeve?
Trying to think what he could have. An Eckert ultimate would help.
Well, Eckert has already played the ice wall.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so it looks like Sinkhole is now going on the stack. Targeting the hex that Frail's on. How does this stop the sacrifice?
I don't know that it does. But it's pushing Lachlan out of the dome.
Nope, he's pushing Lachlan up.
Oh, nope.
Nope, thinking about it.
Just spending his mana before it's gone, maybe?
Yep, that makes sense. And now,
Oh,
uh,
double sinkhole.
now another sinkhole is being played by Frael, which can grab Bearcat's Frael and push her out of the dome.
That's incredible.
The double sinkhole. You never see it coming. So it is important to note Eric has played 3 cards this round. He is only down to 1 card
Four
in hand.
cards.
4
He's
cards,
played
yep.
4 cards now because he played the Song of the Siren.
That's
All
right.
3 mana cards.
So the sacrifice goes off. Nothing happens. The attack also fizzles. So Bearcat's Frail has 1 more action to take. And she is simply going to lead from deck. Oh, man. What
That
a
was
play.
a wild stack.
So we had an Ice Wall, a Nourish, a Sacrifice, and 2 Sinkholes.
Yep.
What a
Sounds
play.
like the beginning of a funny joke.
Next time we stream Tim, I'm going to expect to hear the end of that joke.
You got it.
All right, so action over to Eric. Looks like he's considering an Ekrit activation. There it is. All right, Ekrit's going to get on the move.
Oh, he's going to worship and push Frail to the other side. Does that work?
I think so. What a play.
Throwing people around like crazy.
All right, so flipping a 1. So now Lachlan's going to take 3 more damage. Down to 6.
Frey's going to take 2.
Yep, her armor's blocking 1. But the most important part is they are each going to get pushed. And because of the sinkholes and now Ekrit and the Song of the Siren, Lachlan and Freyel have just been completely neutered for the turn.
Yeah, they essentially did 3 damage. I mean, and Eric spent all of his mana, but
Sure.
still has a flux, so he could play a 1 mana card if he were running any.
All right, so Bearcat is going with Kotlik.
I think
he's attacking.
He's attacking. Or okay,
Yeah, he's going with
You're right.
Kotlik, and he's attacking the outsider to draw a card. Flipping a +2.
+2.
So 4 damage to the outsider. Down to 12.
Eric's gonna sneak in here and kill it this turn. Not actually, but
Tim, if that happens, I don't know what I would do. You know, because Eric's list, he brings Korjoff and Shalavi for the possibility of making that happen, but he chose not to bring them, probably because he saw Right Reach and Invasion and knew that he had other win conditions. But you know, he was prepared to do that battle if he needed to.
Yeah, it's interesting his choices. I'm interested to hear his thoughts after the game.
Yep. So it looks like Kotlik is doing a skirmish, probably hitting the outsider. I didn't see the flip there, if there was one yet.
He flipped to +1.
Okay, so
I think.
Yep, no damage taken. The outsider blocks it with his 1 armor.
And then probably a lead.
Yeah, you gotta lead here, or um, if I guess if Telekali's coming over, maybe that could be the lead. But yeah, I think you got to get a lead here because there's really no place for a pillar that will protect your minions. Um,
He could protect one of them.
yeah, you could do one. Yeah, but yeah, there's the lead. Leads from deck. All right, so back to Eric, who has Brilvar and Freyal left to activate.
I'm imagining it's going to be Frail first.
Yeah, I would agree because his Brilvar is already shapeshifted, so um, Telekali is going to be forced to attack him. He has 3 armor. Telekali is not going to do much there. So maybe he's thinking, can I run across the board? Yep, he's counting hexes. All right, so he's attacking the minion. Out of cards, doing a shuffle shuffle. Flipping the -1. That's just enough. Then we're going to see a lead from deck. Thinking about that third action. So possibly a worship on Brilvar, maybe to heal him up a little bit. He's definitely thinking about it.
I almost wonder if he could have just switched to the other side, killed the minion, and be able to push lane 1 all the way back.
It looked like he was doing some counting, but he did choose to worship, and he just worshipped himself. He just worshipped Freyal. So she is done, and so all that's left for Bearcat is Telekali, who is right next to Brilvar. So first action must be to attack Brilvar. Unless he was able to draw a charm or something like that. So there's just no way that Telekali can kill Brilvar here, right? With 4 HP and 3 armor.
I do not think so.
All right, so he's thinking. So he may have a cards worth playing here if he's not just kind of going ahead and making that attack.
Like a brutal precision or a charm.
Yep, we are seeing the charm be played. So snagging that worship token right off of Brilvar.
I would not keep it if I were him.
Yeah, because if Eric can have it as a charm, he could just take it right back. It is a May, so he does not have to apply it to himself. All right, well, unless Eric has a charm himself, Telekali is going to be able to do something other than attack Brilvar, and she is going to move. We're going to attack a minion.
Probably lead.
I am not seeing Bearcat's flips. There it is. Flips a 1. Yeah, I mean, he's in a spot that he can really... Oh,
Ooh, a
Telecalli's playing a
presence.
presence. We are seeing
But
all
he's
the presence
presencing with
play.
1 card in deck.
Well, it's still, to be able to get that 1 more point on the control, probably worth it. But yeah, Tim, tell us about that interaction when you only have 1 card in deck and you're allowed to predict 2. How does that work?
So essentially, he's taking the presence back.
Okay. Not playing the
Basically, you
presence.
don't shuffle the deck until it is empty. And while you're looking at the cards, it is not empty. So he only has 1 card in his deck. He's predicting 2, but he can only look at 1 card because there's only 1 card in the deck.
Okay, so it does look like he is deciding to go ahead and play the presence, right?
Yeah.
Yep, so Telecalli does decide that it is worth it, even though I'm only predicting 1. It looks like he tossed that card. Yep.
Yeah, it was a charm that was left, so he's probably gonna lead from deck here, hoping for something better.
So you predict the 1, toss in your discard pile. I now have no cards left in my deck, so I immediately shuffle and have a fresh
Correct.
deck. And there it is, the lead from deck with Telecalli. We clicked the lead action. I haven't seen where the card's coming from.
I think he's debating.
Yeah, so maybe he has a 3 in hand. So if he does get a 3 off here, that would put him at 8. And
From deck.
yeah, lead from deck. So he's probably not going to be able to take out that tower this round because Eric still has 2 minions to soak up a little bit of that. But if he can get 1 more tower damage, draw a card, might be worth it. All right, so action moves over
What do we think Brilvar is going to do here?
And I don't know. It looks like he's got lane 2 taken care of. Wouldn't be too concerned there. So do you give up the dome and just go over to lane 1 and maybe kill a minion? Is that... Yep, so we're moving. Nope, taking that move back.
Yeah, going north, going to kill a minion.
Yep.
That's got to be the right.
I think so.
If you're leaving the dome, at least.
I mean, and he very well just skirmish right back into the dome, too. Right? I could see that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's in a place where he's not going to lose the tower this round. So he might see just more value in the outsider. Yep, and there's the skirmish. Yep, so not...
Yeah, I might even kill a minion. Or no, I probably spawn a minion. No, I move a minion, and then I move and skirmish up to that bush up north.
So it looks like Estrada only led with a 2. So she's at a 5. And took a little bit to 3. So 7 to 5. So it's a win by 2. So that's 2 dead minions, but no tower loss. So that's got to be, I mean, in Eric's book, I'm thinking that's exactly, that's totally fine.
Yeah. Not losing that tower means it's at least 2 turns before you can get a Nexus victory from that tower.
Yep. And over on lane 2, Frail led with a 2. So he's going to be at an 8. And Kotlik at a 3. Because he only had a lead of 1. So that is a gone tower. So now Eric is in a
Choo
really,
choo.
yeah, Eric's in a really good spot for a Nexus victory here going into round 4. He's going to have 7 minions. Tim, I don't know if you happen to have Bearcat's deck up, if he has any sort of minion clearing cards in his deck that might be able to help him out to do
Let me
something.
look here. Wave clear, huh?
So
It is loading.
yeah, so looks like Eric's going to be stuck with 1 minion that nope, they're all within 3. I take that back. So they're in a good spot. Yeah, and I think maybe even better is he is going to be able to move that outsider to the other side of the board, opposite of Nalaklan. So I think this was
Yeah, I think I would tuck him potentially right in that nexus adjacent to the dome
mm-hmm.
after all is said and done. Making it possible for Nalaklan or Frail to get there.
All right. So
I also think I move a minion over to the right lane,
sure. Yep.
just pushing real hard.
So it looks like he's going to attack a minion with the first action with the outsider.
Yeah, it looks like there's no wave clear at all in Bearcat's deck.
Okay. So we're going to spawn a minion for action 2. And he is just moving the outsider for the third action. I think is totally fair. So
I think I would have moved a minion over to the right lane instead of the attack on a minion. But that's just me.
just to put even more pressure on the Nexus.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to round 4.
Can you move the round marker?
I cannot see it, so we might need to tell the guys.
Okay. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
So Tim, what do you expect to happen here? We're going to see some fireworks in round 4?
I mean, I think that Eric has positioned himself really well. I don't think that Frail or Nalaklan can really get in there to kill a minion. Kotlik's only melee, so he could move and kill a minion. Yeah, it's rough. All right, there we go, round 4. And the outsider is just really hard for him to get to with anyone.
So it looks like Eric is going to go ahead and activate Brilvar.
Gonna move and taunt to Lakali, maybe?
Yeah, I think that would be a good play. But instead, he is just going to go... Is he just going to try and protect this outsider with everything he's got? He's going to lead from deck. No, okay, he's taking some things back here. All right. Lots of buttons being pressed. Okay, so he is going to move and lead from deck. Interesting. What does that lead do, Tim? Why lead with Brilvar? In case he gets sinkholed into the middle. Then looks like the third action that wasn't clicked looks like it was a worship because he is shapeshifted. So we have a move, a worship, and a lead.
He's got to have some way to move himself back into the dome, right?
Yeah, I mean, to me, otherwise that lead is just next level play that I'm not sure. I'm not on that level.
He's just bluffing,
Yeah.
and he has a way to move into the dome.
All right, so action over to Bearcat. So going into this round, Eric has 4 cards in hand. Bearcat has 3. Eric still has the flux on his side. We'll have to ask Tim if he even remembered he had it.
Or he's just saving it for this turn to play a 3 and a 2 mana card.
Yep. Tim, how often when you're the first player and you have the flux, do you find that there's just really no good plays for the flux? Does that happen to you often?
I don't know that it happens often, but it definitely has happened several times. I didn't need the extra mana for anything. I typically, and because of that reason, I typically try to use it any chance that I have an opportunity to.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am as well.
That makes
if I see it's if I
any
see
amount
it
of
open.
logical sense.
All right, so it looks like Bearcat's looking at maybe activating Frail here, counting up some hexes. I think it's an interesting spot where he put Brilvar, because that is a square that I think would be advantageous for Bearcat if you wanted to try to hit the outsider.
Most assuredly. He can move and skirmish into that hex if Brilvar wasn't there. He can still move and skirmish and hit it, but Brilvar can potentially play some tricks.
Yep.
Who is playing this drain?
Yeah.
Is it?
I was gonna say, are we taking that back, or is Telecali playing the drain? Maybe we're taking the drain back. Okay, so maybe we're considering an activation of Telecali. And I'd be a little nervous about just evacuating lane 1. All right, so they're thinking this is definitely an important round. So Telecali's on the move. No, maybe not. So he is moving to the dome. So a skirmish action doesn't quite get him out of the dome to do anything to the outsider or to Brilvar. So it's an interesting play here. Not sure what he's got up his sleeve. Oh, taking that move back, maybe. All right, so he is deciding to go ahead and play the drain. And then Eric immediately follows it up with a time warp. It says, nanny, nanny, boo, boo, you can't get me. All right, and then we're going to skirmish with Telecali. Someone in the chat is asking which mini is the outsider. So it's actually the one up next to the Nexus at the top of the screen. It's the one that is not tinted. So Telecalli's going to lead from deck. It's an interesting play there.
So what happened there?
So we moved one hex. We then played the drain, which Astrida time warped out of the way into cover. We then skirmished into the dome and led. So really all that happened was a lead and a move of 3 spaces. So not real sure there what was gained.
Eric playing a Bewitch with Astrida.
Yeah, Eric loves a little Bewitch, so we're going to defeat a minion, spawn a minion. Yep, so she's currently not worshipped, so action 1 is to worship with Astrida. Action 2, attack a minion. Yep. Doing 1 point.
Lead, probably.
Gonna lose 2 HP. Get another one out. And yeah, I would definitely expect a lead. So we're now at a 5-2 minion advantage for Eric on lane 1. I mean, it would not put it past me if Eric can win that lane by what I think all you need to do is win by 6 to get that token up to the Nexus to win by invasion. So
yeah.
All right, so Bearcat is going with the Lachlan, moving into the dome.
Activating the Lachlan.
Yeah, and then we're skirmishing 1 hex to be on the token and then leading. All right, I am very perplexed about what is happening here. So we have 2 leads in the dome, both from deck. 2 characters just hanging out in the middle from Bearcat. I am lost as to what Bearcat's strategy is here.
There might not be one.
There might not.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
I think we lost you again, Tim. So it's action over to Eric, who has Ekrit and Frail still to activate. Looks like he's going with Ekrit. I'm doing an attack to hit Frail and move her. Just doing 1 damage, but the more important part is to move her 1 hex. Probably going to see a lead. Yep, you're not wrong, Beacon Fire. The struggle is real with Tim's internet connection today. Nope. I'm very confused. So maybe we have a concession. Yep, we have a concession. So We're going to go ahead and jump over into their chat and talk to the players.
Yeah.
Hey
So I've got a
guys.
slide and a sinkhole. So the sinkhole.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the whole thing was around you not being able to do anything to
Anything
respond,
more?
plus me basically drawing really, really well.
Off of your one hit and stuff. Yeah.
Well,
Guys, good game. Good game.
yeah, like I would have if you didn't have the reaction. Let's see, I would have had 4, 5, 9, 12, 14. Yeah, I had 15 I would have done, assuming you had no reaction. But odds were really low.
So Bearcat, fill us in real quick on what we missed the beginning of this conversation. So what was your thought going into this round here?
So basically my whole approach was I had to be able to get Freyhel to hit. Like I was at the point where I had no chance because of the way he positioned it for anybody to be able to attack except for Freyhel.
Yep.
So I was holding a Rampant Hatred in hand. So my plan was to move all of my characters into the dome, put Freyhel here, play Rampant Hatred, get a free skirmish with a base 4, move him in, hit here,
Yep.
take another skirmish, and then take an attack. Like that was the only way that I could have gotten the ability. And even then, yeah, it would have been enough, but it was completely contingent on him not being able to do anything to respond to it, which seemed really unlikely with it being as late in the game as it was.
Sure. And Eric, we heard you say that you have slides and other things in hand right now.
Well, slide and sinkhole. So those are the two things that stop it. But also, once I pushed him here, it put him one hex.
Correct.
Yeah.
One hex too far away. So that Ekrit move that I was like, what am I going to do with Ekrit? Well, I guess I can push 1 hex because maybe they'll do something. It actually did something.
Yeah, I was playing to my 1 out, and it seemed really unlikely, but you got to go for it.
You got to do. Yep.
When you've only got 1 chance.
Yeah.
So did you even consider trying to save the lane?
Not even a little bit.
Round? Not even a little bit.
There was no way that I was going to save the dome.
The Nexus, you mean? I mean
the Nexus, yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have any quick shots, something like that, I don't know. If like everybody goes over there and you take them out one at a time, maybe you can only lose like 4 towers and try again next turn. I don't know.
But then again, like if you did that, I mean, you probably could have potentially pushed the control point 7 spots and then won by invasion.
Exactly. That's what I was. That was my counter plan if you were going to do that. That's why I was trying to wait around as long as I could to see if you actually tried to do that. But then it really looked like you were still coming after him. I was like, okay, just sit here with my slide and Freyhel and sinkhole with Brilvar, and hopefully that's good enough. But yeah,
I was doing the same math on the end of turn 3. It was like, man, I really don't want to have to play for that lane, but you'll just win by invasion unless I send Takali over and take a lead action.
I almost brought Freyhel over here, and I was like, no, I have to pretend I'm ignoring this. Hopefully Takali goes somewhere else, and then Brilvar can come over here, and I can win on invasion, right?
Yeah, I kind of knew I knew what you were doing. It's just I didn't really have any way of stopping it because you seem to have basically everything well in control. In both the dome and on the right lane or my right lane.
Yeah.
So you could just take your choice of, how did you want to beat me?
So good game, guys. So Eric, one question I wanted to ask. So I know the stream didn't get to see it, but during the drafting, you sounded a little taken back when Bearcat threw Takali out into his lineup. So what were you thinking at that point, and did anything change in your mind as far as the rest of your heroes that you're activating or your game plan?
Yeah, so basically, these are my 4 heroes I play most of the time, and then I have a lineup with Korjoff and Shalavi that is only there to deal with hunting for power. And so I played a couple games with it, and I think it's fine with the hunting for power. And so if I think they're going for hunting for power, I have to put that lineup in. And then so I was all set to do that, and then he played Takali. I'm like, is he not going for hunting for power? Is he going to try and out-push me with these other 2 control things? I don't even know how my Shalavi and Korjoff work if I have to actually play a control game. And I didn't want to be the one chasing hunting for power. That feels yucky to me because you have to do a lot of the damage first, and that seems like wasted action. So I was like, fine, I'll just play my regular game and just try and keep the guy alive, or keep tying the dome was my hope, right? But yeah, once he went to Kali, I was like, fine, we'll play control, and then he kept going with the control lineup, so that's what happened.
So Bearcat, did you ever consider not bringing Takali and bringing another big hitter to help with the hunting for power, or did you feel confident in being able to take out the outsider with this current list?
To be honest, probably going back in hindsight, I would have went back with my original 4 lineup that I played the whole league. So for every other game that I had played, I used Kotlik, Zakol, Akla, and Nelaklin, and basically just went all out on kills. Probably shouldn't have deviated, but I mean, it was close. But it was kind of a strategy that I wasn't really familiar with, because one of the things that I'm used to is just having a constant full hand of cards,
Sure.
just from getting kills over and over and over again. And it just, I finally understand why people talk so much about the importance of card advantage, because like when you're not drawing 6 cards every round from getting 2 kills and drawing at the end of the round, it's a lot more difficult to be able to
Keep
push
the engine
people
going.
to your will.
Yeah, and
especially whenever your opponent's playing Skytear Drain.
Right. Yeah, and also in general, your cards are high flip value cards. So like aside from a couple of them, I would consider them lower impact cards, because a lot of the 1-cost cards are lower impact. So you need, 2 of them to be as good as, one of the, sinkholes or 3. Although you do play sinkholes, but other higher impact cards. So yeah, you need quantity to overcome the quality issues from the deck.
Yep. So, Tim, do you have any questions?
Eric, was there ever on the first turn you just went right into the dome? Was there any chance of you trying to ignore the dome unless he went in the dome first to not spawn the outsider?
Oh, to always just be the reactive guy and make sure I even them out. So,
or at least if he does go for it, he has to put 3 characters in there to do it. Because you could always come.
But I was very worried that he would do that. So I've been, after his stream, I looked at his deck, and I knew 30 of his 32 cards and been playing against it a little bit. And so him just smashing everybody in the dome round 1 is a totally viable strategy, at least with his other 4 characters. So, and I didn't really know what stuff he put on Frail and Takali, but I figured that could be a thing. And so I've done stuff where I move Frail out first to a lane, and then as second player, he just moved all 4 guys in and led with a 3, and there's no way for me to actually tie to the dome. And he just doesn't care about lanes, right? And then takes the outsider, kills at beginning of round 2. I don't get the breach. I don't get the invasion, because you can't do that till round 2. And then he just can win before I can do anything. So
That's fair.
Just, again, his deck might not have been built to do that, but I was worried that it was. And if it was, I didn't want to lose that way, because that was one of the ways that I foresaw myself losing. So I put Brilvar in there because, especially with his lineup, I was thinking Brilvar would be able to survive till the end of the round. And then, if you put somebody outside like Kotlik, then I can start actually playing lanes, which is where I want to play.
Yep, makes sense. Well, guys, Bearcat, congratulations on making it to the finals. It was a fantastic run. We've loved watching you play. And Eric, congrats on winning the America League. And now you're going to be representing the Americas in the finals against the the European side of the house. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, congrats.
So thanks everybody for watching. We really appreciate you joining in, being active in the chat. Keep the comments coming. Let us know how we can do things better. We really appreciate the feedback. So again, thanks for watching. This is Ian. Have a good rest of your weekend, everybody.
Stream ended.
Stream is ended.
Oh man, I got